Quartararo and Aleix Espargaro together on row 3. Quartararo and Aleix Espargaro, of course, will be looking to maximise their championship points today. Oliveira, who, of course, was one of the few riders to go from slicks from the start of Q2, he was rewarded with 10th ahead of Frankie Morbidelli, his best qualifying of the season, and Alex Rins in 12th position. Jorge Martin, Fabio Di Gianantonio and Brad Binder together on row 5 ahead of Alex Marquez, Michele Pirro, who's wildcarding on an Aruba.it Ducati, and Andrea Dovizioso for the final time in MotoGP goes from 18th. Paul Espargaro's had a rotten weekend and he's down in P19 just ahead of his teammate for now, Stefan Bradl. Will Marc Marquez be back on that bike when we speak to you again at Aragon? Darren Binder in 21st ahead of Taka Nakagami and Kazuki Watanabe, with Remy Gardner and Ralph Fernandez for Tech 3 bringing up the rear.
And speaking of Kazuki Watanabe, great to see him get a chance to make his MotoGP debut here, replacing the injured Joan Mir. Delighted to say on the grid with the 31-year-old Japanese man. It's Simon, over to you guys.
Kazuki-san, how does it feel sitting on the MotoGP grid on this beautiful blue machine amongst the best riders in the world?
Yeah, it's very excited to be here and you know, about to start. You know, I feel, of course, nervous, but actually I'm quite looking forward to enjoy the race. So yeah, just keep concentrated to the race until the end. Yeah, let's enjoy.
Thank you and kanbatte.
Thank you.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks to Kazuki Watanabe, currently third in the All Japan Superbike Championships, third recently in the famous Suzuka 8-hour endurance race. And now Bastianini has just been introduced to the crowd, and that's why the flags are waving. That's why there was a big roar for that young man. He was born and bred right in this part of Italy, the sort of famous Adriatic coastline, a holiday hotspot, not just in Italy but in Europe as well. The beach locations of Cattolica, Riccione, Rimini, always great to come to this part of the world because we always get great race action, great food, great booze as well. We're looking forward to a big party for Andrea Dovizioso tonight. The perfect time to go down on the grid ahead of what's going to be an emotional race day here for the With You at Yamaha R&F team. Wilco Zillingberg, their team manager, ahead of Andrea Dovizioso's MotoGP farewell. Down to you, Simon.
Yeah, I was so hoping to talk to Dovi today, but he doesn't like to talk on the grid. So next best thing, an ex-rider, team manager, worked with him. I'd love to hear what's it like working with.
But saying that, you know, you need to make a decision at some stage, and but we will support him the coming races full time, and we hope he will come back soon in MotoGP.
Great stuff, Wilco. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Thanks to Wilco Zinimo, thanks to Simon Craig. Of course, the current Yamaha R&F team will be moving over to Aprilia's in 2023, and it will feature the perfect timing on one of those RSGPs next season. This man, Miguel Oliveira, 10th on the factory KTM, joined in that project next year by another current KTM rider, Raul Fernandez.
We spoke moments ago of the misfortune for Jorge Martin, missing out on a place in the top 10 in Free Practice 3. His loss was very much Miguel Oliveira's gain. It promoted him into the top 10, and at one stage it looked as if he was going to be on for a little bit more than that yesterday, than 10th on the grid when he was quick at the start of qualifying, going out on slicks early on. Let's get the word from KTM then ahead of this San Marino Grand Prix. Stefan Pirro is down on the grid with Simon.
No, Michele Pirro, but never mind Michele. Speaking to your crew chief, he said you are a big part of Ducati's success, you know, being the test rider. How does it feel to line up on the grid for a race now?
So it's strange because many riders, no? It's compare when I'm test the bike because I'm test alone. But anyway, I'm enjoyed today, and the level of Ducati is very high. The young rider is fast, and I hope and a good race also for me. And anyway, I try my best.
Michele, you're a legend. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks to Michele Pirro, thanks to Simon Craig. That was a sight to warm hearts of Repsol Honda fans and to MotoGP fans all around the world. We just saw there talking to former MotoGP rider Alex Hoffman, part of the Service TV operation, Marc Marquez, who after that fourth operation on that right humerus bone in Minnesota back in early June has been past fit, and he will be throwing his leg over that Repsol Honda RC213V at the two-day test here in Misano next week. It kind of every time he comes to Misano, you feel like he's operating behind enemy lines, don't you? Marc Marquez, of course, he was the last race winner here in Misano when he won after this man, Jack Miller and Pekka Bagnaia, both crashed out in front of him in that title-deciding Emilia-Romagna race here last October.
Yeah, of course, MotoGP.com and MotoGP social media channels will have all the updates on Marc Marquez's progress in that two-day test here at Misano, Tuesday and Wednesday. So keep an eye on all of our social media channels to see how he gets on. It will be so good to see Marc Marquez back in MotoGP, and boy, do Repsol Honda want him back. And we're glad to say, unmistakably, we can now hear from Marc Marquez. He's on the grid and he's talking to Simon Crafar.
He is. Marc, can you tell us what's going through your mind on the grid without all the stress?
Yeah, obviously I'm more nervous now than when I'm in the bike. It's strange, but I feel like I want to be there. And it's true that I need to be step by step. I will have important tests to myself and also for Honda on Tuesday, Wednesday. At the moment, Tuesday. Wednesday we will see if the body accepts. But yeah, it's a different point of view now looking from outside, but I hope to be very soon in the grid.
See you next week.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Marc Marquez then building up to what would be a mouth-watering return in his home Grand Prix, Motorland Aragon, in a couple of weeks' time. We're in the Principality of San Marino then. Always fantastic, as we mentioned, to be racing in this part of the world. Such a great area for developing talent, isn't it? That's made it all the way through to the world stage. I don't know what they put in the water in these parts, but Valentino Rossi, of course, born and bred here. Enea Bastianini, Andrea Dovizioso, not too far away from here. Marco Simoncelli, Luca Marini, Manuel Poggiali. The list goes on. It's such a star-studded list of riders who've carved their way through from the grassroots to the elite of World Championship motorcycle racing. Luca Marini, he'll fancy a chance at maybe fighting for the podium here today. He goes from the head of that third row in 7th place. Fabio Quartararo on the middle of the third row in 8th spot. Hard work coming through from that third row, but what can you do? You can always rely on the world champion to put in a top performance. Let's see the pre-race thoughts of Monza and his Yamaha boss, Maio Meregali.
Maio, qualifying didn't completely go to plan. Do you think he can fight through to the front?
Yeah, it will depend about the start. If we can gain a couple of positions at the beginning, I think he has the potential to do a good race. This morning we could improve a little bit the setups, and he was
two of the greatest riders in the modern MotoGP era, and as we said, they treated us to some of the greatest edge-of-the-seat action we've seen in the modern four-stroke era. What a day beckons for Ducati. Can they make it 4 wins in a row for the first time in their history? Let's hear the pre-race thoughts of Ducati Lenovo team manager Davide Tardozzi with Simon.
As Davide runs away, Davide, there's a few famous people pulling him away. Davide, we're live here.
Sorry.
No problem. Your home race, your team's home race, Ducati's home race. You're an ex-rider. Tell us what's going through your mind about your two riders.
We just ask to be fair, to make no stupid things, and to make them race. Everybody in Ducati is free to do his own race. We just ask to be not too hard with the neighbor, with other Ducatis. But anyway, they are free to do them race.
You know the nitty-gritty. How fast are your boys, meaning Jack and Pecco, their pace for the race?
Yeah, I think that both together with Bastianini will have a very good and fast race pace, but Fabio and the Aprilias will be there too. So I think that we will see a first part of the race with a lot of riders and very tight, but only 3-4 riders will be there to play for the podium in the end.
Thank you, Davide.
Thank you.
Thanks, Davide Tardozzi. He'll be desperately hoping that one of those 3 or 4 riders playing at the end of this Grand Prix is Pekka Bagnaia in terms of the championship. Some key late breaking news regarding Michelin tyres. As Lewis mentioned, we thought maybe there might be some late change of heart given the hottest conditions of the weekend so far, and now everybody that was planning to start on that soft rear, Morbidelli, Rins, the Gian Antonio, and crucially Enea Bastianini on that front row in second, they have all switched over to the medium rear tyre.
So unless we hear of any more changes, every rider, with the exception of Kazuki Watanabe, has gone for a medium front tyre. Everyone's on the same combination, which is the hard front, medium rear, which is what we thought going into the race, and what we saw from free practice 4 is the preferred combination. As mentioned a few moments ago, it's not expected to be a big race of tyre management, given that they were still setting fast lap times and overall best lap times in FP4 right at the end of their stints. The big question, I suppose, is whether these hotter temperatures have changed the complexion of that ever so slightly.
Some of the most nervy moments of a Grand Prix weekend unfolding right in front of your very eyes now, as the mechanics, team managers, team members all give their sort of pre-race prep talks to their riders. There is Marco Bezzecchi then on the front row on that special liveried Muni VR46 Ducati. Alongside him, Enea Bastianini looking for a 4th win in 2022. This would be a special one after his brilliant triumphs in Qatar, in Austin and in Le Mans. This one would be extra special in his own backyard and the backyard of the Gresini team. He's also running a gorgeous, absolutely stunning tribute livery to his late team boss, Fausto Gresini. The Italian fans are out in force then. Just under 60,000, as we mentioned. There's a lot of support still in this part of the world, as you'd expect for number 46, Valentino Rossi. He'd love to be here. He's in 4-wheel racing competition over in Hockenheim. Can his boys deliver on the big stage in front of their home crowd? The pressure cooker atmosphere building. What's going through the mind of Andrea Dovizioso ahead of his farewell Grand Prix? But your front row here for the Griffin Grand Prix of San Marino. Marco Bezzecchi in 3rd place. Enea Bastianini trying to make it 4 wins in 2022. He starts 2nd, and for the first time in 4 long years, after his memorable pole position at Termo 3 Hondo in Argentina in 2018, it's the Australian Jack Miller on pole. Will it be a thriller from Miller?
7 races to go, starting in San Marino, and the championship contenders have work to do. It's Jack Miller on pole position ahead of Enea Bastianini and Marco Bezzecchi, a Ducati lockout for the 2nd consecutive Grand Prix. Vinales starts 4th ahead of Pecco Bagnaia, whose grid penalty relegates him to 5th, with Johan Zarco completing row 2. Quartararo and Alicia Spargaro have to work their way through from row 3. Oliveira leads the KTM challenge from row 4, with Alex Rins on the leading Suzuki joining him on the 4th row of the grid. Jorge Martin and Brad Binder, 2 riders perhaps out of position on the 5th row of the grid. And our best wishes and our close eye on Andrea Dovizioso as we get ready to say grazie Dovi. He starts his final MotoGP race from 18th on the grid.
Enea Bastianini has a fantastic record here at the Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli, a podium today, will be his 5th in a row here on home track. It's another 6th place for Heritel challenge to win a historic championship for Aprilia, just starting to fade somewhat for Aleix Espargaro. Of course, we know how good he is in Aragon as well, but at the moment he's being overshadowed by this man, Maverick Vinales. 3 podiums in the last 4 Grand Prix for Top Gun.
Vinales now moves up to 8th in the World Championship now on 101 points, and he's one of the form riders in MotoGP, isn't he? Quite clearly the form man with maximum points in the last 4 Grand Prix is Pecco Bagnaia, but as mentioned, that is 3 podiums in the last 4 for Maverick Vinales. He's also going to be eyeing up some of the upcoming circuits that he goes very, very well at, particularly Phillip Island and Sepang as we head into the flyaways in a few weeks' time. Here is Andrea Dovizioso then. His MotoGP career is finally at an end, and he's going to say thank you to all of his fans, but in truth, the thanks are all from us, Dobby. Grazie, Dobby, for a tremendous Grand Prix career.
He's been a model professional. He's the only rider in MotoGP history to win 3 decades, to win races in 3 different decades. He leaves with stacks of memories, silverware and admirers. A 15-time MotoGP winner who scored over 100 podiums across 3 classes. A journey which started in Italy here with a wild card at Mugello in 2001. Some of his wins in Motogp, Qatar and Austria, all-time classics in MotoGP. A great talent, a great ambassador, but above all, a great guy. We say arrivederci, Andrea. Best of luck to him in the future. There's a bright future, though, isn't there, for this man, Enea Bastianini, as he moves over to the factory Ducati team next season. What a race that was. It went all the way down to the last corner, as we kind of expected it would do. Just how much regret will there be about that mistake going into turn number 4 on that last lap, because he would have wanted to have made that move earlier. maybe, well, he wanted to make it in turn 4, but got too close. Was he just lining it up maybe to attack Bagnaia on the brakes into turn 8, possibly into turn 10, Tremonto, where he was so strong, but it's still a great podium, continuing that excellent record here in Misano. His last 5 starts here, they've all been podiums.
He certainly would have been grateful that he didn't run into the back of Pecco Bagnaia into turn 4 in the last lap. That would have made him relieved that the ink was dry on his new factory Ducati contract if he'd ran into the back of his future teammate and cost him 25 points. He threw absolutely everything at that, and I'm still absolutely baffled and amazed that despite that error into turn 4, which cost him 0.3 of a second, he still set a 1:31.868 on the last lap, the fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
This is where all the drama into that Rio corner. Oh, that was mighty close. A rear tyre skipping right, skipping left, a good 12 inches off the ground as well, wasn't it? And out of the final corner, Pecco Bagnaia, he'd have heard that Ducati coming alongside him. If there was, maybe another 50 metres, it might have a different story. Cue yet more crazy, wild celebrations from Davide Tardozzi. That's another for his repertoire. I'm sure our social media team back in Barcelona are already cutting the footage for another special Davide Tardozzi social media post. There was poor old Jack Miller coming back into the pits, not the day he was expecting. Started pole position, made the dream first lap, came over the line leading at the end of lap 1. Crashed just the 4 corners later on lap 2. Miller recovered to 18th. Marco Bezzecchi, a front row starter as well. He crashed early on and recovered to 17th place. The Gian Antonio was another faller who regrouped to finish in 20th place. There's Carola Bagnaia, Pecco Bagnaia's sister. I doubt very much whether she's got any fingernails left, to be honest, after that race. Talk about contrasting emotions, and his last race start here in Misano for Pecco Bagnaia, it was a crash at turn 15 which ended. It's one of the faint hopes of being crowned 2021 Motogp World Champion, but fast forward 12 months and that victory here in Misano drags him firmly back into contention to wrestle the crown away from Fabio Quartararo and Yamaha. He comes into Parc Ferme. What a race, what a rider, brilliant by Pecco Bagnaia. Andrea Dovizioso loving that one-off helmet he's got there. That's sort of a tribute to all of his, some of his most momentous wins in his illustrious Grand Prix career.
Pecco Bagnaia leaps into the arms of his Ducati team. We saw the celebrations from Davide Tardozzi a few months ago. Just how big could those celebrations still get in 2022? 6 races still to go. And it's still very much on for Pecco Bagnaia. And it actually now, when you look at the situation for the rest of the season, it had been out of his hands. There is the situation for Bagnaia. We were in a situation where Fabio Quartararo could afford to follow him home if he won every remaining Grand Prix. That is no longer the case. If Bagnaia continues this run and wins every remaining Grand Prix, he would win the championship. Quartararo will have to beat him.
Throw in the added dimension, the possibility of Marc Marquez coming back into action. Next time out of Motorland Aragon, he's testing here for 2 days next week here in Misano. Jorge Martins had a pretty tough weekend, learning before, of course, this Misano weekend that he's not going to be joining Pecco Bagnaia in the factory Ducati team next year. He finishes in 9th place, a long way back, nearly 18 seconds behind race winner Pecco Bagnaia. Not a great day for Paolo Campanotti's Pramac Ducati squad, because Johan Zarco was out on the very first corner on lap 1, wasn't he, with Michele Pirro and Paul Espargo also involved. Alex Rins took 7th. He was the fastest man on circuit very early on that factory Suzuki. Brad Binder, another good charge for Binder from 15th to 8th. Another top 10 for the South African. We just mentioned Martin in 9th. Alex Marquez, it's a very rare foray into the top 10 for him. But the top 3 men then in MotoGP about to start talking to Simon Crayford down in Parc Ferme.
Maverick, the very fastest riders on the world on the Ducatis are extremely fast around here. You matched them for a long time. 32.2 on the last lap. You and Aprilia can be proud. Are you?
Yeah, I'm proud of the work we are doing with Aprilia. Today I learned a lot. I learned, you know, where we have to improve. But honestly, I was very happy about all the crowd. This track is unbelievable good, the Italian fans, the Aprilia fans. So I'm really happy and really proud about them. So, you know, we need to keep working. Say congratulations to Pecco and Enea. They did a great race. I tried very hard, but still we need something to improve. So very happy, and thank you to Aprilia and all Piaggio Group, and thank you to my family.
Congratulations. Enea, you were amazing today, all the race, but that last lap, fastest lap of the race, with the mistake, incredible. How do you feel?
Yeah, my feel is good. I tried to win the race at the last lap, but Pecco was incredible today. I pushed a lot, especially in the last part of the race. And well, I'm happy because we have make a very good battle. And at the start, my confidence was not really nice, but at the end, lap by lap was always better. And also on the rear, the grip is coming more. And yeah, I've tried to win, but the podium is okay. I'm really happy for my team, for my girlfriend, for the friends, and also for the fan club.
Awesome work, Enea. Pecco, how does it feel to really be in the history books with that fourth win?
Che figata, ragazzi. È stato bellissimo. È durissimo perché all'inizio facevo molta fatica col grip. Scivolava tanto. Piano piano che la benzina andava a 2 riuscivo a spingere sempre un po' di più. Alla fine con Enea facciamo dei tempi incredibili. Io ho fatto il mio miglior giro l'ultimo giro. Ah no, sorry, in English, sorry. It's true. I'm very happy with the race because I struggled at the start because the grip was not so high, so I was struggling a bit to find some grip, some traction. But then I started to feel that the fuel was going down a bit, and my feeling with the tires was even better and better lap by lap. So in the last laps I was trying to push to open a gap,